Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am the Knitting PT. My name is Andrea. I'm your host here. You can find me on Instagram as the Knitting PT, and every Friday I put out maker self-care reels with exercises, posture tips, ergonomic tips, what have you, all things to help you keep you crafting healthy and pain-free. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, thank you for coming back to spend time with me. This channel is where I spend time to tell you all about my makes and my knitting projects and share my love of yarn and yarn related accessories. So today's episode is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to start out with some personal news, a little bit of personal update. So if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen me alluding the past couple weeks to some changes that are going on in my life. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be coy about it. It just I wasn't ready to share the news yet, or decisions weren't finalized yet, but now things are finalized and I'm ready to share. My family and I are moving. So currently right now we live in Austin, Texas, and we're going to be moving back up to the Northeast, to the tri-state area. We're moving for personal reasons. We have a family member that is very sick, and we're trying to be back there to spend more time with them and to allow our kids to spend time with them and to just help out as well. Time is very precious for this. It's very time sensitive, which is why we are packing up and leaving so quickly. We only made this decision, I think, maybe a month ago. And we will be moving out by the end of November in just, I think it's like 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, which is crazy. Yeah, so that's what's going on. And that's why I've been a little bit quieter on social media. I've been really busy behind the scenes cleaning our home, preparing it to sell in the market. This week I have been in a whirlwind of packing, and I'm actually taking a pause to record this episode. I think it may be my last episode before we move. I'm not sure. I'd love to pop back in and kind of give you an update on my whips and that kind of thing, but I just don't know if I will be able to. I'll try to, but it's possible that my next episode might be coming from our new place on the East Coast. So yeah, so that's my news. It is super crazy. It is a huge life event, and it's for a sad reason, but I'm trying to frame it as something positive. You know, we're going to be back among our family. My husband's side of the family all lives in that area. My siblings are kind of in the area as well, drivable distance. We'll be back among more diverse communities, more diverse foods. And so I'm really looking forward to all of that. And I will be living in seasons again. I will have a true winter, a true fall. Well, I missed probably fall just now, but I'll be arriving right when winter's getting started. And I am really excited to be wearing all my knits, to be making more cozy knits. One of my friends told me, like, now you're gonna have to join all of us on Sleeve Island. Like, you can't just make short-sleeved everything anymore, which is very true. Yeah, but I'm excited for all of that. So yeah, so please bear with me, especially if my episodes are a little spotty between now and the end of the year. It's because of that, because I will have to be focused on getting our kids settled into their new home, into the new routine, into new schools. Yeah, I will be taking a little bit of time off from my day job, from working as a physical therapist, mainly to just get the family settled and to also help out our family members who need help. And so I'll be taking a small step back from that for a moment, which I think is coming at a good time. I was starting to feel a little burned out with some of the things that were happening at my job. So I think this is a good time to reset, and I'll be able to focus a lot of my attention on my shop that I hope to open the beginning of next year is what I'm aiming for. I was actually hoping to open it by now, but then all these things happened and I had to push it back. You know, I had to push back the launching of my shop, which I think is okay, because now I can hopefully launch with more things. I'm going to be working on a sweatshirt design, so that in addition to the t-shirt that I have designed, I should have a sweatshirt in there and hopefully some other goodies too. So yeah, please keep a lookout for that. I know that there is a thing called Vlogmas in the month of December, and I was trying to decide if I should participate in it or not. I still haven't quite decided. I kind of want to, because I would love to document my life, especially in the month of December with all the new changes we're going through, because we will be literally arriving in our new home on November 30th. So I think it would be really fun to actually have this time capsule of our family's life, new adventure in a new state. I don't know if I'll have the bandwidth, so I'm gonna leave that up in the air and we'll see. Anyway, so to get onto the episode's content, first let me tell you about what I finished. So I have finished my Riley tee. This is a test knit for Rachel Kurihara. She's Rachel Knits Things on Instagram. So the Riley tee, it's a DK weight tee, and you can see here has a folded hem detail on all the hems, so a folded collar and cuff on the sleeve, and also on the bottom hem as well. And what I love about this design is this twisted rib detailing here. So there's this twisted rib detail on the saddle shoulder that goes all the way down, and it is absolutely beautiful. I love this tee. It's so comfortable. I think it blocked out a little larger than I thought it would, but I'm okay with that. I knit the small size, which would give me 3 inches of ease, and I think I have more than 3 inches of ease, but that's okay. I think I blocked a little aggressively. That's probably why. Actually, my tee is still like a tiny bit damp. It's not fully dried yet, but today's my last day to record an episode before I pack up all my yarn and all those things. So I was like, forget it. I will wear it damp, and we will get on. I knit this in Life in the Long Grass in their DK base, and the colorway is called Cantaloupe. Yeah, but I'm really happy with it. It's kind of more springy than autumnal, but that's okay. I think if anything, what I pair with will help it. So I have a pair with this cute navy polka dotted skirt. But I bet if I paired it with like a dark red skirt or something, or just something moodier, it would probably just like tone down the springy look to everything and kind of just make it more season appropriate. But yeah, I really love it. I highly encourage you to get this pattern when it comes out. I think it's coming out later in November. So yeah, be on the lookout. It's super comfortable. I really love it. And where the collar sits is like just the perfect spot for me. I don't like anything too close to my neck, but I also don't super love wide boat necks either. So this kind of crew neck fit, I just love. Yeah. All right. In terms of whips, I've made some progress on my Earth and Air. I finished the front and now I'm working on the back. Let me untangle everything here so I can show you. So this is the Earth and Air sweater by James Watts. This is part of my Monet capsule collection. So this is the front. Sorry. This is the front here like this. Yeah. So the yarns I'm using, again, the dark red is Knitting for Olive in their heavy merino base. And this colorway is Bordeaux. And then the contrast, the lovely variegated contrast on the inside here, is the Red Pansy in her August Monet colorway. Actually, I better double check that. September, good thing I double checked. September colorway, the Rose Walk. Yeah, so I finished the front here, so I'm working on the back now. And after the back is finished, I will join them together and then it'll be sleeves. I don't know when I'll have this done. This is probably the longest I've spent on one of my Monet projects, maybe. Part of that's because I started signing up for test knits again and kind of got down the test knit rabbit hole. And, you know, because test knits have a deadline, those take precedence. But I will hopefully have this finished. I think I should have it finished, like, you know, by December, hopefully. I don't know. By the end of the year. Yeah. And then I have cast on a new project, and this is another test knit. This is a test knit for Knitsisu, Jill. And this cardigan is called the Coffee Cardigan. And so here is a top-down raglan cardigan, and it's knit up in boucle yarn. So look at that. So this is the beginnings. I have just done all the raglan increases, and now I just have to knit for a little bit longer before I separate for sleeves. And it's knitted really fast. I only cast this on, I've only worked on it probably 2 days total, and I've already gotten this far. So this is in a DK weight yarn, boucle yarn. So let me show you a skein of it. caked up. This is by J'adore Fibers, my friend Shannon, and her boucle base. Yeah. So you can see that. So I'm finding the boucle very interesting to work with. If you've worked with slub before, I thought it would be similar to slub. It kind of is and it kind of isn't. With slub, it was easy for me to know where the strand was and to knit with it like normal, right? It was just like normal yarn, just like a little crinkly. But boucle, if you can see here, there's a lot of loops that come off the actual strand. And so when I'm knitting with it, and it might be, I don't know if it's because this is a dark color, which makes it harder to distinguish too. When I'm knitting with it, I'm actually finding it took me a while to get the hang of knowing where the strand was and where to like pick up my stitches, especially when I was doing increases. So I'll show you kind of what it looks like up close, like that. Yeah, it's just like a lot more loops to it. So it's a little bit, the stitches aren't as clear or as obvious, if that makes sense. But I'm really loving the texture of it knitting up so far. I think it's gonna be super cozy. I'm really looking forward to having this super cozy cardigan. It is a V-neck cardigan. So you'll see here that the increases are for a V-neck and then it falls straight down. So it's kind of like a open lapel kind of look. The stitch markers I'm using are by Denim and Rain that I got from her last update. I love how they pop out against this dark blue color. Yeah. So yeah, that is my newest whip. And that's all I've been working on actively. I have 2 whips that are kind of hibernating, my Willa Tea, my Respico Tea, and I'll probably get to those next year. Yeah, but that's all I've been working on. I've been trying to just get test knits done. I had this moment where I signed up for a lot of test knits suddenly, and I'm fairly confident I will make the deadlines for all of them. I just have to be strategic and work very diligently on each one. And I have 3 more that I have yet to cast on. So now we're going to get into my yarn acquisitions, because the yarn acquisitions kind of fall into the category of my newer whips that are to be cast on. So first, the next test I'm going to be casting on is for Jessie May. I got into her winter crop sweater test, which I'm really excited about. I'm really excited to test for her. And I am using the yarn that she recommends, which is Woolfolk in their Flet Bulky base. So this is a bulky base. It's like a larger boucle. Okay, so look at this. Eee! It's so soft and squishy. So this is one skein caked up. One skein that is 100 and I think 73 yards. I don't have the tag information. I would show you. And the colorway for this is, it's like their cream base. I will insert the information down here like I always do. But yeah, super chunky and fun and fluffy. Yeah. So that's my next test knit. It is due early December, so I will get that done once I make good enough headway on my cardigan. The next test knit I have to cast on is for Amy Scher of Amy Scher Makes. She also has a podcast on YouTube that you should check out. And I am test knitting her Transitions vest. It is a Aran weight cabled vest that is reversible on either side. One side is like a V-neck and the other side is a scoop neck. And the closure are buttons on the side. So I'm planning to use the buttons I got in the last episode that I showed you from Denim and Rain for one side, and I'm waiting for Denim and Rain's next shop update to hopefully snag buttons to put on the other side for this fun kind of mismatchy look. I am also using the yarn that she recommended, which is again Woolfolk, and this is in Tuv, which is their Aran weight base. This colorway is T01, and it's this lovely light gray color. Super squishy. I really like Woolfolk's yarns. They're not the most price accessible, so I don't always use them. But I am excited to use them for these tests. And also because, I mean, like, there isn't a ton of boucle out there right now, so I definitely wanted to get the Flet Bulky for that. And then also just for the cable vest, like, I don't have any Aran weight yarn in stash, and I definitely, for such a heavily cabled vest, I definitely wanted something solid, and Woolfolk does do some beautiful solids, so I decided to just go with it. Yeah. And then the last test knit I have to cast on is the Poppy Pullover, I think is what she's calling it, by Knit Boop. And for that one, I am using yarn I've already shown you. I'll show you again. This is by Hawari Bazaar. This is the Grand Mosque of Damascus colorway. So I'm using this as my main color. And then for the contrast color, for all the color work on the yoke and on the hem and on the sleeves, I'll be using Life in the Long Grass in the Aloe colorway. So I think they'll look really good held up together. I think it'll be enough contrast. It probably won't be high contrast, but that's okay with me. I kind of like low contrast looks. Yeah. So in terms of other acquisitions, I've had a lot of yarn come in the past 2 weeks, which is good because, you know, we're moving soon. So I do need all my pre-orders to come in. So one of the pre-orders that came in was from Playful Day Yarn. She is a dyer out of California. And so this is from her Warmth collection. So this is in MCN twist fingering, 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. This is fingering weight. This is the colorway Almond Cookie. Look how beautiful that is in that shine. Oh, and it's so soft. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful neutral. I really love it. It reminds me, just like, I look at it and I just think like cozy winter sweater. Yeah, I'm really happy with these. Yeah, they're absolutely beautiful. Playful Day Yarns. I'm really glad to finally try her yarn out too. I've also gotten some more J'adore fibers. I just can't stop. This is Midnight Oasis on her Tweed DK base. I got 4 skeins of this. Don't know what I'm gonna do, but it'll be a nice sweater. Yeah, but yeah, look at that teal. I love it. I also got my pre-order from Treehouse Knits in. So Treehouse Knits Lauren. This is my second order from her Coco collection. So I got 2 sock sets for this one. This one is the Dante sock set. And so I went with colors that are kind of like outside of my usual wheelhouse, just because I'm trying to branch out color-wise, and socks feel like a safe way for me to branch out color-wise, because, you know, I don't have to put on my entire body. But look at this. And each sock set for this collection comes with 2 mini skeins. I'm going to do some kind of sock, maybe a colorwork sock. I don't know. Whenever I finally stop test knitting garments and can actually knit socks, who knows when that'll be. And I also got Remember Me. So pretty. Yeah, I'm super happy with these. Hopefully I will knit these up into socks soon. Yeah, I think my goal for 2022 might be to knit more socks and not just only garments. We'll see. And the last yarn I got in the mail that I ordered is from Wandering Flock. I got her new Blue Steel colorway. It's a very kind of like light pale gray with bluish, purplish undertones. It's looking very lavender in this light. It is kind of lavender, really. It's not that blue, but I do like it. I do like how delicate and soft the color is. And I got a sweater quantity of these for a nice cozy DK sweater of some sign, you know. I guess apparently past me knew that I would be moving to a colder climate and was just going crazy buying DK yarn. Worked out. All right, and the last bit of yarn I want to share with you is actually a gift. You've heard me talk about her many times, but Aro of Aro Knits and Pearls, she also has a YouTube podcast, which you should watch because it is lovely and she's a lovely person. We became really good friends the past year through Instagram. I did a yarn swap with her about a year ago. She was just looking for people to do a yarn swap with her, and I volunteered, even though I'd never done a yarn swap before. And just like from there, we started talking a lot every day, and we FaceTime knit and have knit nights, and she's just become a really good and dear friend to me, even though we've never met in person, which feels so crazy because I feel like I know her so well, and I feel like she knows me so well, and it's nuts to me that we've never met in person. We do plan to soon in the new year, but she sent me an early birthday present, which was the sweetest thing. My birthday's not till the end of the year, like to the end of December, so I cannot believe she was even thinking of me this early ahead. But she sent me, I'm just showing you two, but she sent me 4 of these Magpie Swanky DK. This is a colorway Linger. This beautiful pale purple, and it is so soft because a cashmere MCN base. And then she also sent me these. These are Total Matin in the cotton base, 50% merino, 50% cotton. And the colorway on this is Emakuza. This beautiful light blue. It's very me. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you, Aro, for thinking of me and sending me an early birthday present. I will always think of you whenever I look at this yarn, and when I knit it up and I wear it, I will always be thinking of you. So thank you. What else? And I think that is it. Yeah. Why did I feel like there were so many things? It felt like there were a lot of things. Anyway, so yeah, so for this week's wellness tip, or this episode's wellness tip, I actually didn't think of one. I was just kind of thinking I need to record my podcast episode so that I can edit it later and put it out before I pack up all my yarn and all my things. And don't worry, I will have many whips on hand with me. I'm actually going to wind up all this yarn sitting, well, minus the Playful Day. I'm going to wind up all this yarn that's sitting here and keep it with me so that I can cast it on and be working on my test knits even while the rest of my stash is off in transit. And I was so busy thinking about that I did not think of this week's wellness tip, which I feel really silly about right now. But because I am talking about winding yarn, I will give you a tip about winding yarn. So when it comes to winding yarn, it's often it can be something that we really enjoy or something we really hate. And I feel like people fall on either side. People either love winding yarn or they don't mind it, or they absolutely hate it. And I'm one of those people who absolutely hates it. I don't know why. I think it just feels like, I don't know why I hate it. I think it almost feels like it's a waste of time, even though it's not a waste of time. I think it's maybe because I'm handling the yarn, but I'm not actually knitting with it. So it feels infuriating to me, if you can relate to that. And so when we wind yarn, especially if you're like me, you're kind of like winding it as fast as you can because you're trying to get it over with. And sometimes that's not always the best for our bodies. So I will link down below in the description box, in addition to all the yarns and makers and designers that I've talked about today, I will also link my reel for how not to wind yarn, in which you will see kind of typical bad postures that we end up winding yarn in, and ways to correctly wind yarn without putting your body at risk. So one of them is to make sure you are not bent over and hunched over your winder, cranking at it, which is something I'm very guilty of. I'm often looking like a crazed hunchback, trying to crank my yarn as fast as I can to get it over with. Another thing is to maybe switch your hands. I'm also guilty of this. I always wind yarn with my left hand because it doesn't feel as natural to do with my right hand. I am left-handed. But, you know, it can help give one side of your body a break if you switch to the other side. So that's my other part of that about winding yarn. And the third is that even though winding yarn might seem like a very transient thing, you know, maybe you're only doing for 5 minutes at a time. So a lot of us might think, oh, you know, what does it matter what my posture looks like in a short period of time? Well, the answer is it does, because even being in a bad posture for a short amount of time can have long-term consequences. You could injure yourself in those 5 minutes without meaning to. It can contort your body and maybe make some muscle spasm up or tighten up in ways that you don't want. So even if you're just winding a skein of yarn, I encourage you to do it with correct posture, with optimal posture, in a way that cares for your body and respects your body for what it's doing. I think too often we take our bodies for granted and we don't take care of them, or and I encourage you all to join me in taking better care of our bodies, thanking it for allowing us to do the things that we love to do, and to not take it for granted and wind yarn properly without putting your back or your arms in pain. So that's my wellness tip for you this week. I'm sorry it's a little off the cuff, but it worked out well because I was talking about winding all this yarn, and I am looking at all this yarn, not looking forward to winding it up. Yeah. So anyway, that concludes the episode for this week. Hopefully I will pop in again before I move. But if not, I will see you all from my new home. I will still be active on Instagram. I'm planning to, hopefully, if I can cut out the time to, pre-film all my reels for the next month so that I can just release them and not worry about filming every week, especially with a lot of my knits going in storage across the country. So please be on the lookout for those. I will still be on Instagram. Feel free to DM me or leave a comment below. I always look forward to reading your comments and to hearing your thoughts. And it really honors me, and not honors me, I really feel honored. I really feel honored by each and every single one of you who take the time to watch my videos and spend time with me. It still boggles my mind a little bit that you want to sit there and watch me talk about yarn and talk about my knitting. At the same time, it doesn't boggle my mind because I do the same thing. I watch podcasts I love, but I think it boggles my mind that someone wants to watch me do it. So I do appreciate every single one of you who is here spending time with me. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. Maybe in a few weeks, maybe from a new home, who knows? But stay tuned. Yeah, until next time, happy knitting. Bye.